Hey guys, we are here with the 7th episode, and we're a day late, but we messed up our communication over when we would be able to do this, so we're doing this a day late, but we got a day's extra content to talk about, so we'll get right into it, and starting off as we do every week with MSU. Two things happened today that we wouldn't have been able to talk about, or we would have had to wait next week. We got some good news, we got some bad news. Start with the bad news. Not necessarily bad news, but kind of expected that Curtis Blackwell, MSU's basically a recruiting guy, what you could really call him, is that he is no longer on the staff anymore, and he had been suspended for the past several months, 2 months, something like that. And not terribly surprising, but and probably the right move. We're still waiting on what happens, but the bad news is that no ifs, ands, or buts about it is that Curtis Blackwell, he's he was an assistant at one of the best high school football programs in the state. So MSU's recruiting will definitely suffer, or not suffer, but it will not be as good because of this, because he was a very important cog for MSU's football recruiting. So that's not good news, but so they're on the market for a new recruiting recruiting guy.
Your resume is ready.
So they'll probably get someone from the state of Michigan, definitely from Midwest. We'll see what happens there. That'll be a thing to follow, because Curtis Blackwell is definitely a thing that people talked about a lot, and so hopefully they get another qualified guy that helps them get some recruits, and hopefully they can keep them. But another thing that happened today,
maybe they can do a better screening of them, flash pictures of women in front of them, what do you do?
Another thing that happened today is that this is not terribly exciting. Is they got a new walk-on today. He's a wing.
I watched this film. He's pretty dope.
He's from
obviously. Go on.
He's from Southfield. I don't even know his name. I can't remember it. But methinks that he probably that MSU's done for the 2017 class with this. Maybe they're still gonna recruit or transfer, but probably not. I think their roster is probably set for the coming year, and they have the two walk-ons coming in that probably won't be on scholarship this year, but we'll see in the future. Maybe one of them will, because if they are done I think they will be, they have a scholarship to give. So yeah, he's a wing, a position of need. I didn't look at him at all. But we'll see how he is. Kenny Goins, obviously, he was a walk-on. He turned out to be a pretty good pickup. So
I saw on his 24/7 profile, it says he's 6'7", but then on his commitment thing, he said 6'4".
Yeah, that's a huge span. I don't know how there's that big of a difference.
It seems like if he would willingly report it, it's probably closer to 6'4".
Yeah,
but
makes sense.
Yeah, who knows?
And then the last thing as far as MSU goes is that a couple days ago, or maybe yesterday, they got a commitment from a linebacker safety guy, Michael Dowell, in the coming class, 2018, that pretty cool. He's pretty good. He's a high 3-star, low 4-star. He's the third Dowell on the team now, Andrew and David, I think. So we got 3 brothers on the team. MSU loves brothers. MSU loves brothers, and he's pretty good apparently. And MSU doesn't, for the 2018 football class, they don't have a ton of guys. I think they have 7 or 8, but it's off to a pretty good start. So that's cool. That's all we got as far as MSU goes. Michigan, obviously, what we have alluded to in the past, pretty much the entire series, is that the NBA draft deadline came and is now gone, and Michigan had some news there, obviously.
Yeah, DJ Wilson decided to stay in the draft, and Mo Wagner, the center, decided to come back, which I think, it's easy to say, but I think both made the right decision. DJ Wilson has had injury struggles, and he didn't play very well his first 2 years of college. His first year, he sat out most of the year. Second year, he didn't really do anything. And then last year, he played pretty well in a lot of big games and played well in the tournament. So, and he said, like I said, he has injury struggles. So why would you not go to the draft and risk,
Yeah.
But then Mo Wagner has not had injury struggles, which I think part of injury struggles are just like bad luck. Like I don't think like
Obviously.
DJ Wilson has like just terrible like knees or something, and I'm sure like him and Mo Wagner have pretty similar chance of getting hurt next year. But it probably scares you a little bit. But anyway, Mo Wagner, the German dude, he will be back in
The ugly
Michigan,
dude.
and I guess in a couple of weeks when we are short on content, we can do like the roster breakdown. But yeah, that just kind of leaves like a open spot at the 4. But other than that, the positions are probably pretty set. And other than that, the only news that really came on a Michigan front is Ryan Hayes committed. He's an offensive lineman from Traverse City, but he's pretty skinny, so they said he might play tight end. And he just looks like he looks like a guy who would be like really like nice around like parents and stuff, but like would be like all about like shoving that nerd in a locker if like if the opportunity presented itself.
I don't know. I didn't really look at him, but I'll ignore that Ryan Hayes comment. Do we want to talk more about DJ and Mo, or wait till further episodes?
I mean, we can talk about.
Obviously,
Where do you think DJ Wilson's gone? Like not
This-
team wise, but like yeah.
This was the huge news. Obviously, greatly affects Michigan. Those are their two best. If they came back, they would be their two best players. DJ, I would, if I had to bet, I would say first round, just because definitely, obviously is. I think anyone that knows me, like I hate Michigan, but I am like. I don't like lie about like Michigan or anything. I can like face the facts that like.
I hate Michigan State, and I do like to lie.
Like that
outwardly and inwardly.
that like under Beeline, whether or not they produce in the pros, that's like another thing. But whether definitely Beeline can get guys to the pros, so I think like Michigan is like not like under the level of like Kentucky or Duke, but like I think NBA guys really like John Beeline's system, and they like. So I think DJ Wilson will probably go first round, late first round, but if not, early second round.
It is interesting what you said, but none of them I can think of really do much. Trey Burke had a couple good years. He's not doing anything now. Tim Hardaway's pretty good.
Yeah, under Beeline, yeah, Hardaway
I guess-
and
Glenn Robinson looked like he was going to be
He's
out
alright,
of
yeah.
the league a couple of years ago. But yeah, he's doing all right. Stauskas has had his ups and
then
downs.
Karras has only had 1 year, so it's too early to say. But up and then Mo Wagner, he'll definitely be the best player at Michigan. As I've said before, I hate him. Just disgusting dude. Cannot say anything else about him. But we'll get more into, I guess, a full season preview later on. But Kentucky, they also had huge news that Hamidou Diallo waited till like 10 minutes before the deadline to decide whether or not he was staying or going, and he decided to come back, which what we predicted, we thought was going to happen. But
He waited until 5 minutes for the deadline before he tweeted it out.
And so that was also huge for Kentucky. He'll be their starting two probably. And he was ranked like top 10 player in the class and their highest rated recruit. And super athletic. He probably could have gone first round, but he decided to come back. And that's,
He got a guarantee from the Nets apparently that
yeah,
he would be in the first
came
round.
out.
But literally waited to the last minute, and if he would have waited that long and went and used Kentucky for that semester, he might have been one of the most hated players in Kentucky history, other than like Daniel Orton.
Kentucky fans did not like him at the thought of that. Yeah,
Although he did say, which who knows if it's true, but in his thing
he was
that,
gonna pay.
that he was going to pay the school back because when he came to Kentucky, he didn't even expect that to be an option that was on the table. But then when it was, kind of felt bad that he would it looked like he used Kentucky, so he would, which I think it's unreasonable. He'd pay the school back. Like,
I wouldn't do that.
It's a nice gesture, but like,
I mean, words are words. Who knows if it was actually gonna.
And that's all I have to say about that. Really, it would not have been cool at all if he would have waited that long, because it would have screwed Kentucky over, because they couldn't have time to really get another shooting guard that's like even close to that level, and it would just really made me mad, especially since I like had lots of things to do in the morning and I still stayed up to wait for his commitment or whatever.
I would have been. If I was a Kentucky fan, that would have driven me crazy. I would have been so nervous and anxious to find out what his decision was. But yeah, obviously pretty impressive for Kentucky that they just need to get a commitment from a guy. He doesn't even need to play, and he can almost go first round.
I'm all for like saying that, but I think that I'm sure Kentucky helped his draft stock maybe a couple spots, but I think it's still a good situation.
Like I said, he was a top 10 player, but top 15. But
next story is a little bit interesting.
A little bit. Not your typical news.
Enes Kanter, I guess he's similar to Diallo in the fact that he has a weird name, and he came to Kentucky, and the NCAA said that he had free meals and free flights when he was playing for the Turkey team, so he wasn't allowed to play for Kentucky, even though players who have prostitutes at Louisville and fake classes at North Carolina, they're good. They can play and they can keep their banners up, but Kanter wasn't allowed to play because the NCAA's out to get Cal because they're jealous, and the world really is filled with just jealous haters because, like I said, they hate Kentucky because they hate themselves and they hate everything. They hate everything that Kentucky stands for. They hate success and they hate victory, and that's all I have to say about that.
Before you go completely in, did you see just another thing we've talked about, how weird Brian Bowen is? Did you see how he might have visited Louisville in North Carolina?
That's crazy.
He's so weird. But continue. Just Brian Bowen is
maybe
really
he's
weird.
Just gonna like.
But yeah, go on with the.
I'm afraid he's like planning something. Anyway, Enes Kanter was held up at an airport in was it Italy, Turkey?
I can't remember.
Anyway, there was suspicion that he was connected to a terrorist organization. I believe it was ISIS. You may have heard of them. Name 5 of their songs.
But about the worst claim that can be made about you.
Yeah, I can't think of many other things I'd rather be accused of, but or would rather not be accused of, and obviously he didn't take too kindly to that. He's
not admitting anything, but we'll see where this goes. It's obviously very unusual and very interesting, and it's just.
I feel like we're so quick though to be Islamophobia. He's like this is such an outrageous story. Like, who knows? You know that 60% of Muslims, they were interviewed, said that it is sometimes okay to commit suicide attacks.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's not these little fringe ISIS people. It's mainstream Islam that thinks an occasional suicide bomb here and there. So who knows if Enes Kanter was in in that 60%? Odds are that he is. So
6 years greater than 50.
It is.
There's no debating that. So yeah, we'll if anything happens with that, we'll talk about that. Very weird story, but we got MSU, Kentucky, Michigan done. As far as and then we just got some general sports stuff. One last NBA decision we want to talk about was that Caleb Swanigan decided to go, which was expected, but at least by us. In that, but also cool because we're obviously Big Ten followers with MSU and Michigan, and he's very good in college. And Purdue would have been a damn good team with him. This will be pretty good. And yet, probably the right decision for him, just because he's kind of overweight, so he was never going to be a top 10 pick.
He's a beast.
Yeah,
he's so good at basketball.
Set some Big Ten records this year, and MSU was very close to having him, but in the past. And then so now besides pretty much besides Brian Bowen, of course, the college basketball landscape is set for next year. And I thought we'd just talk about some top fours in no order, but I think the top four will be in no order. Arizona, which most people have as the number one, and I think as preseason goes, I think is deserving. Very loaded roster, but Sean Miller will find a way to choke them out of winning the title. I think
I don't think that's a fair take. He has never had like a consensus top 2 or 3 team, and he's gone to the Elite Eight several times. Like he's doing what's expected of the Elite Eight.
He's had some he's been a 1 seed before, I think, or a 2 seed. I know he's been a 2 seed. I think
and being a game away from the Final Four in a lot of close games. I think it's part of that's just luck, and we're talking about preseason. We're not talking about once you get to the tournament, you're a seed. If you're a 1 or a 2 seed, you don't make the Elite Eight or you don't make the Final Four. It's not super embarrassing. Most 1 seeds don't make the Final Four.
I just think that Sean Miller is not deserving of the hype he had a couple years ago. So I think back to the top 4 in order. I think Arizona.
National chance, baby.
Kentucky, MSU, and probably the 4th one, Duke.
I'll put the same top 3 and then Kansas.
Kansas over Duke.
Yeah.
And yet none of those picks are shocking. MSU, Arizona, Kentucky are pretty consensus top 3 in some order, and then Duke and Kansas are looming around there somewhere. So. And then,
Duke is some bitches.
We hate Duke, and
I'm saying this team though, not only they're Duke teams are always bitches, but sometimes they're really good bitches, and I don't think they are this year.
We'll see.
Grayson Allen's just an evil little miscreant,
and then the last sports thing we have, then we just got one other thing to talk about is the sports thing is the NBA playoffs. I don't know about you, but I'm very excited for them to come on. Is that we just got the last round, the finals. I am actually really excited for this. 3 years in a row, the Cavs and the Warriors will be playing each other. Obviously, the 2 best teams in the NBA, I think, definitely in the playoffs. You could say the Spurs in the regular season, but
Celtics.
and the Celtics, but Cavs are better. This should be really entertaining. And did you want to make some predictions?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and say the Warriors in 6. I don't want it to happen. I want the Cavs to win. I hate Steph Curry. I hate Draymond Green. I hate Steve Kerr. I really hate everything Golden State stands for, but they are good, and they have 4 of the top 20 players in the league, and I do not think that LeBron has enough in him to overcome that.
I agree that the Warriors will win. I guess I'll say in 6 as well. I was either going to say in 6 or 7. I don't think it'll be in 4 or 5. Maybe it'll be in 5, but definitely they'll not sweep them. I think the key is that Steph, Draymond, and Kevin Durant have all been playing very good in the playoffs, but Klay Thompson is not. So I just think he's the key. If he can just play like his usual self, I think they'll definitely win.
I think Klay Thompson looks like Squidward.
Kind of has a similar head formation, but I'm really excited for that. The final starts Thursday. We love basketball.
It's 12, 13 weeks until college football starts.
Undoubtedly, LeBron James, one of the best players of all time. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, 2 former MVPs, several other good players in the mix. It's even if you're not an NBA fan, but you just love basketball, that's pretty exciting stuff.
It is.
So I'm excited for it, and then one.
I'll watch the game together Thursday. I agreed to go with Sam to Applebee's and watch it. But then Morgan's also coming over, so I need to balance that. I just need to figure something out. Go on.
And then, the last thing we got is just
If all you fans want to meet me, it'll be at Applebee's Thursday.
the last thing we got is just the movies and TV section, where I did not see this coming, but a couple days ago it came out that the Wonder Woman movie reviews were pretty damn good. I did not think they were going to be good. I did not anticipate myself seeing them, but now that the reviews are pretty good, I might see it. Maybe not still, but what do you think of this?
What do you think of all the feminism talk about Wonder Woman and talk about how it's about women empowerment and stuff and how they're having women's only screenings for it? Wonder Woman's been around since the 1940s. This is nothing new. They're making a movie. It doesn't have to be about you being oppressed and you not be able to get free abortions or something
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I can understand women thinking that's a Wonder Woman is a cool character for them to look up to or whatever. But I've heard that it's not I haven't seen it, obviously. I've heard it's not really a feminist movie.
That's what I've heard. They're just trying to make it one.
Yeah.
I feel they're all going to show up to the theater and be when's he going to go to the abortion clinic and, volunteer and, suck some baby's brains out with a vacuum. It doesn't happen in this movie. What?
So, maybe I'll see it. Maybe I won't. I'm not a huge superhero movie fan, so...
I also feel feminists aren't, qualified to speak about films because they're so fat and disgusting that they just go to the theater to shove their face and you know what I'm saying? I feel they just grade the bonbons they ate or whatever. They're not actually taking the thematic effects of the film and the lessons it was trying to teach. They just see a woman and be oh, it's about feminism and abortions and I heart abortions and.
So we'll see what happens there. But then the last thing is just that, as I said last week, that the new season of House of Cards came out, the 5th season. And as I said, I plan to watch it. But as it's a Netflix show, their usual deal is that it doesn't a new episode every Sunday or Monday or Wednesday or whatever. Is that the whole season 5 is out now? If anyone cares, if anyone watches that show. But I do not like to watch too many shows at one time. I just like to keep to a small number. So I'm not going to watch it till I'm done with one of my shows now. So I'm not going to watch it for a couple of weeks. But House of Cards Season 5 is out now on Netflix. I'm a pretty big fan of that show. Should be pretty good. We'll see what happens. And I think that's everything we got. As far as this podcast episode goes, Are you
gonna have the team in a couple weeks?
Yep. Ty, Henry's cousin, good friend of mine, should be visiting in a couple weeks. He's a character. So that'll be fun. We haven't had a guest in a while. And that's another thing we should. We haven't had a guest in 4 or 5 episodes, which we've skipped a couple weeks, which really a month and a half.
Nathan's a good guest. He set the bar up there. So
yeah, so we should just we should have another guest on.
Just never another guest again.
What?
We should just never have another guest again. He will beat Nathan.
We should have another guest on, and hopefully someone volunteers. Hopefully we don't have to beg too hard. Nick Melky.
You're disgusting.
Ty will be on.
No points will hit you.
Ty will be on shortly. We'll see what next week brings. Hopefully there's some stuff to talk about.
Some zaniness.
Hopefully there's some stuff to talk about, but you never know in the summer. It's a very
disgusting horror pig.
It's a very low time for us as football and basketball fans, but we'll see what next week's brings. And
as Americans,
I mean,
Some people like baseball,
a
but
lot of people like baseball.
a lot of people don't though. And I'm
So
one of those people.
yeah, we are not baseball fans, but thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned in next episode next week.